Hi everyone, this is Sean Ray with your Dallas Real Estate News Update. Our first story, a 115-year-old hotel is getting converted into an apartment complex, and it's finally taking place over in the Cedars. This story comes to us from Robert Wilonsky from Dallas Morning News, and he basically talks about how in 2017 there was a whole bunch of investors there was an investor that bought this 115-year-old, one of the oldest hotels in Dallas, right south of downtown in the Cedars area. And they plan on turning this into an apartment complex with restaurants on the bottom and even a speakeasy bar to really bring life over in the Cedars district over in 2017. But there wasn't a whole lot of support of the Cedars back then as much as there is now, and so the project got stalled. And they have all the funding and everything was fine, but they had issues with the roads and parking and stuff like that. And so now that the local government of Dallas is supporting the growth in Cedars, they're finally saying, okay, let's talk about doing the road systems and your parking, everything like that. And so now that that's all cleared up, we should finally start seeing construction and renovation on one of the oldest hotels in Dallas. If you guys haven't got a chance to check it out, go by and check out this crazy old landmark before it is all nice, spiffy, and new. Story number 2. New park just opened last week. It's hoping to bring more walkability over into the urban jungle that is downtown Dallas. This story is by Micah Moore from Culture Map Dallas, and he talks about how for a long time Dallas has been trying to put a lot of money and effort into bringing downtown Dallas back to life. And with this almost 4-acre park that's right off the St. Paul station over, if you ever take the DART, the train that goes into downtown, you get off at St. Paul, and there's a now almost 4-acre park there. And so that is strange. If you've ever been in that area, it's all concrete jungle. It's all super tall high rises and office spaces. Not a lot of walkability. No one's really walking around. And now there's this huge random park there. What they're hoping they'll do is start bringing more people out to that area and bring more walkability, and hopefully this will attract more restaurants and bars and just overall just mixed use of life in that area. So I don't know, I'm not the biggest supporter in the livability and walkability of downtown Dallas. I think that a lot of effort is going into Bishop Arts and Cedars and other areas like Deep Ellum and potentially even South Fair Park in the future. Will downtown really start to be this thriving spot like, say for instance, New York is, or a lot of parts of Chicago? I don't know, I'll have to see, but time will tell. Story number 3. Speaking of parks, there's another park, and it's coming to the West End. This story is brought to us by Steve Brown, and Steve Brown talks in this article about multiple parks, but I'm going to specifically point out this park because it's conjunction of the closure of Spaghetti Warehouse. Now, if you guys don't know, the historical landmark of Spaghetti Warehouse that's over in West End is now closed, and that is unfortunate for all you 12-year-olds that went there for your birthday, and that's about it. The rest of you, we're all good. No loss, no foul. So, is that how it's right? No harm, no foul? That's what I meant to say. But all the local businesses over there, such as Ellen's, which is great, really new, trendy, cool restaurant. It's like a staple in the area. Try to go there for brunch, and you're not going to get a seat. You got to go to Open Table or all those apps to get on there. So a lot of those restaurants over there are looking forward to this now going away because it's going to bring in a lot of new traffic of potential new restaurants. They're going to bring in a lot more foot traffic of that new, trendy kind of restaurants. Also, now that that's going away, I think it's $16 million that they're going to put into this new park that is going to be 3/4 of an acre, and they're hoping that this park is going to be bringing a lot more people into the area. That's going to make it much more walkable and it makes it feel a lot more safe, especially at night. I don't know if you guys have been to West End, but especially at night, it gets a little rough. And if you have any cash on you, then you're going to get asked if you can give it to the local population. Story number 4, Recession Watch. All right, as you guys know, I like to keep you updated on all sorts of recession, any kind of news that I get. This story is brought to us by Sylvan Lane from The Hill, and she talks about, it goes into a lot of detail and it has a lot of nuances, so I'm just going to cut to the meat and potatoes, like the very, very bare minimum, and then if this sounds interesting to you guys, then go off and do the research on your own. I don't want to take forever going over this stuff because it stresses me out, but it's important for you guys to know. And so, as you guys know, the recession is supposed to start hitting us around December, January of this year, starting next year. But there was on the 11th an announcement from Donald Trump saying that he had agreements with China, and so everything's going to be fine, and we're going to push out the recession further because of all the trade embargo and the tariffs and everything like that supposed to be happening in December. But then we found out that the actual news that he announced wasn't that important. So you saw the Dow Jones go from here to here and then back to here again on Monday. And so, as we've seen in the past, he is not a reliable source of information when it comes to his own policies. And so, like I said, the Chinese trade agreement, it had a very, very small little blip, and it was temporary, and it has nothing to do with the long-term trade negotiations that are currently ongoing. So, this might actually speed up the recession because of the backlash that came from it. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated every time that there's something to be talked about. Story number 5, Dallas retail reigns supreme even though we have a looming market. And so this story is brought to us by Steve Brown from Dallas Morning News, because he's the man, of course, we all know that. And what he talks about in the story is that in the first 9 months of this year, we leased up over 2 million square foot of retail space. And that is more than all of 2018 combined. And we still have the rest of the year, and there's still 2.5 million square footage of retail spaces under construction right now. And I don't think there's gonna be an issue leasing that spaces out, because currently there's a 95% occupancy of our current retail market. And so, well, who's getting all this retail? You would think it's grocery stores and strip malls and stuff like that, but that's not the case. The things that are getting the most amount of square footage are things you can't buy online. Like grocery stores, a lot of people are going towards buying stuff online for grocery stores, or even some kind of stuff for like fast foods. But the things that really do well are standalone restaurants that are bringing people in for trendy and like cool high class food. You can't put that online. And then also like fitness centers. And so fitness centers, you can't work out online either. And then sometimes fitness centers like 10,000 to 100,000 square feet. Like, I don't know if you've been to one of those like LA Fitnesses or a 24-hour fitness or a Lifetime Fitness, but they're like a whole-on ecosystem. You can basically live in there and never have to leave the place. And so that's a lot of the current tenants that are buying these, or that are leasing out these places. And then West Dallas is one of the biggest spots, with some of the most retail being over in that area, which is surprising to me because I feel like West Dallas is taking a while to come along, but I guess not. What I really like in this article is someone said this quote, which I was like, oh, duh. I was wondering why I always felt this way about Dallas, but he specified it in just a great little line, which was, we don't have mountains, we don't have oceans. What we do have is we have restaurants and we have shopping. All we do in Dallas is we eat and we shop. And I was like, oh man, that's so solid. That's true. Like, I never thought of it that way, but we don't have much else going on other than eating and shopping. And so for retailers, as long as they know that, they can curb the tide and make sure to stay successful. But everybody, thank you so much for watching this week's news update of all your real estate information in the Dallas area. We will have another one that's going to be releasing next week, and there's a lot of really cool stories that I've been seeing over the last couple of days that we're going to be talking about next week, so stay tuned for that one. We're going to be releasing that one at the end of next week, probably on like Friday or Saturday, so stay tuned to that. Hey, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to watch some of my other videos that I posted the last week's Dallas real estate news, and then make sure to hit that little notification bell so you see next week's Dallas real estate news. But if you guys are Instagrammers and not so much YouTube, and you fell upon this video on accident, then make sure to check out my Instagram, Sean Ray Realty, and that is going to have the more cut down, brief 1 minute, 2 minute versions of what you just saw today. All right, guys, see ya later. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff.